So let us begin, or let's take one more minute. I think Manjuji is facing trouble connecting. Let me see if I can help her. I'll be on mute for a moment.
You are in mute.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yes, Sanaji. Is this the first session you're joining for? I mean,
Yeah.
okay. And are you a part of the Ancient Wisdom group, or have you logged in from uh, any other group?
In this Beam meditation group, I'm there.
Okay, okay, okay. So, a very warm welcome. It's great to have you. Welcome for the session. It's nice to have you, all of you. And since this is the first session, I would just want to know from you, Sahanaji, have you ever heard about Ascended Masters, or would you have anything that in your journey in the spiritual world, spiritual realm, that you have learned from this aspect of Ascended Masters?
No, I didn't heard about this matter, but I'm in meditation from 2011. Through my cousin, I had started this Anapanasati meditation.
Anapanasati. Okay, very good. Mhm.
From that, yeah,
Okay, okay, great.
that's
So, pretty much new to the Ascended Master teachings. And is it okay if you switch on your camera and I'll explain you how it will be helpful in the learning process?
actually I'm into work. Just I thought I listened the session. Uh, I thought like that. Is it compulsory to on the video?
Nothing is compulsory. I'll tell you the reason I say that if we have a camera switched on is because first thing is I am having my camera on, so it's only fair that all of us have the same mode of communication. And more important than that is that when we have a camera on, we it makes it very interactive. The information sent and received is quite naturally known, and it's also quite naturally accepted. I mean, we become more respondent when we are looking at each other. Like you would be aware that I am also, others are also watching, and we are also present, more present, because I am giving my full attention. That's the background when we are having a camera switched on. But given our setup, it's absolutely okay. Sometimes it's not appropriate, so feel free, and you're most welcome in the way you wish to be present here for the session. So it's absolutely fine. I'm just my hope and my wishes and uh, my my own attempt is that you get maximum value out of this session, so that this can be taken back in your life. Yeah, so that's the intention. Welcome, Manjuji. Will you be okay to switch on your camera today? Okay. So, Manjuji, you're most welcome, and it's great to have all of you here. And there would be some people who would have joined from the YouTube as well. So, welcome all the participants to the session. In whichever mode you have joined, feel free to ask questions. I will be going through the content, and maybe I will cover some of the content, and in midst of the content itself, I will open for questions. Maybe I'll cover a topic, and then you can ask questions on the topic. Alternatively, you can also hold on till the end of the session and ask questions. Both ways, I'm perfectly okay. But at least I cover a topic and then we ask questions is will be more viable, and it will create more workability to understand things. And with that, let's begin. So I would like to start the session with a small invocation prayer. So I'm just going to be playing this prayer in the background, and you can just keep your eyes closed or keep them open. Both ways, it's fine. But I'll be sharing the screen so that you can see what I'm playing and also listen to it at the same time. Give me a moment. Yeah. So let me know if you see the screen, please. Are you able to view the screen?
Yes, Akash Bhai.
Okay, fine. I'm playing the sound. Let me know if you hear the sound. I'll just.
In the name of the I
Is it audible?
am that I am, I call.
Okay, so I'm going to be playing this. You can also read along with it. It's very powerful invocation prayer. It helps us to bring the master's presence for this session so that we can maximize our learnings from here, and also helps us to give us protection. So we'll do a protection decree after doing this, and then we will begin the session. So yeah, here you go.
In the name of the I am that I am, I call for the full power of the light of God that never fails. Let the mighty threefold flame that burns upon the altar of our heart now so be filled with the light of the blue lotus and the temple of the blue lotus. Let it be filled now by the mighty action of that retreat, beloved great causal body of beloved Lord Himalaya. O mighty action of the light, descend now for the multiplication of the flame of the resurrection and the flame of freedom, the flame of the will of God of the Manus, unto all members of the fourth root race. Beloved Serapis Bey, beloved Gabriel and Hope, beloved mighty Astrea and Purity, we call for an absolute God-victorious, invincible momentum of the flame of cosmic purity, the flame of the blue lotus, the flame of white fire and blue lightning to descend into the very heart of the earth, for the cleansing of all members of the fourth root race, of cause, effect, record, and memory of their straying from the path of Lord Himalaya on Lemuria and subsequently in their incarnations. O Lords of Flame, Sanat Kumara, 7 holy Kumaras, 7 beloved archangels and Elohim, we call thee forth now in the name of the Ancient of Days. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth for the consecration of the victory and the ascension in the light of the fourth root race. We thank thee and accept it on this hour in full power. Amen.
I will also share the invocation prayer, and we are using the invocation prayer because it helps us to ground ourselves. It helps us to make sure the ascended masters need to be called. Okay, so we have, which means that we have invited the ascended masters so that they can be present and they can assist us to maximize how much ever our consciousness allows, to maximize on listening to whatever we are listening, and also to help us to learn them, make sure that this information actually imbues within us. It's very, very important. And now doing a protection decree actually helps us to make sure that we are in the state where our energies can be intact. So wherever we are, in whichever position we are, we have a specific energy and vibration, so that we don't get into dweller, so that our energies don't dissipate when we meet other people. Our energies keeps others energies keep keeps on integrating into us, or they keep transferring to us. And by doing that, our own energy gets lowered. Okay, it actually, our energy lowers down. And what we are trying to do is, we are just trying to ensure that our own vibration, our own energy aura is intact, and we are in a state of a protection. So this shield of protection comes to us when we do this protection decree. So decree is basically are a specific forms of words that we use in a very specific tone, in a specific way, uh, that immediately accelerates the request that we are making. So these decrees are certain words which have been spoken in a commanding tone. So we will be using that commanding tone today. And what we'll be doing is, we'll visualize a 9 feet of 9 feet of sphere of violet flame, which is surrounded around us. So we are encapsulated within the 9 feet diameter of violet sphere, and within that there is a concentric sphere of white color of 6 feet diameter. So just imagine that you are in a big globe of violet flame, and then within that there is a globe. So you are within a white flame globe, and surrounding that white flame globe is a violet flame globe. Imagine that. Okay, if you're not good in imagining like me, imagine that you're imagining. Okay, so that's the intention. Keeping that in mind, also ensure that you bring your issue in front of you. So maybe I have an issue with my career, or you have an issue with health or finances, or you general issue of being at peace. Okay, experiencing the oneness with God. It could be anything. Keep that issue in the focus, and just be present to the decree. Just be present to the decree. I'll be showing the decree. I'll be displaying it on the screen, sharing the screen. So we need to stand up doing this decree. So I invite you to stand up, and I'll also read this out, and you could also actually read it out along with me. And or you can feel free to read it in your mind. That's also fine. Absolutely fine. So I'm just gonna. I invite you to right now rise up. Please stand up. This is the only decree which we do standing. Rest all the decrees we can do sitting. And this decree is called as a protection decree. It's a white light protection decree, a very, very powerful decree. So let me know if you can see the screen. You may not be seeing me, but if you can see the screen, let me know. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay, so let's begin. You can do it along with me. Let's try to lip sync all of us together. Let's do it in a commanding tone. Keep your hands like this, yeah, facing towards the ceiling, probably. O my constant loving I am presence, the light of God above me, whose radiance forms a circle of fire before me to light my way. I am faithfully calling to thee to place a great pillar of light from my own mighty I am God presence all around me right now today. Keep it intact through every passing moment, manifesting as a shimmering shower of God's beautiful light through which nothing human can ever pass into this beautiful electric circle of divinely charged energy, direct a swift upsurge of a violet fire of freedom's forgiving, transmuting flame. Cause the ever-expanding energy of this flame projected downward into the force field of my human energies to completely change every negative condition into the positive polarity of my great God self. Let the magic of its mercy so purify my world with light that all whom I contact shall always be blessed with the fragrance of violets from God's own heart in memory of the blessed dawning day, when all discord, cause, effect, record, and memory is forever changed into the victory of light and the peace of ascended Jesus Christ. I am now constantly accepting the full power and manifestation of this fiat of light and calling it into instantaneous action by my own God-given free will and the power to accelerate without limit this sacred release of assistance of God's own heart until all men are ascended and God-free in the light that never, never, never fails. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. Right here and now with full power, eternally sustained, all powerfully active, ever expanding and world enfolding until all are wholly ascended in the light and free. Beloved I am, beloved I am, beloved I am. Amen. Say amen. So we have Banita Kukreja joining. Welcome, Banita. Welcome to the session. It's great to have you. And I would request you to switch on your camera. Whoever can, please switch on your cameras. Okay. So we are talking about forgiveness today. And what do we mean by forgiveness? So I will be, let's make it interactive. Okay. So maybe if you could just share, what do you understand? What is forgiveness? If you would like to. Welcome, Chandrasekhar ji. Welcome to the session. Thank you for joining.
Namaste.
Namaste. Would you like to switch on your camera? I would suggest if you can switch on your camera, it will be really nice, and we can have a more interactive session. But it's up to you. But it's my recommendation. If you can, please do switch on your camera. Yes, you were going to say something, Nalini ji, or somebody was going to say something. So my question is, if you wish to share something, what do you mean by forgiveness?
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Well, if you are hurt by somebody's action or speech,
Mhm.
then sometimes you hold it on inside ourselves. It's buried deep inside ourselves. And some people can forgive very easily, but others cannot. So forgiveness is necessary to move on further in our spiritual life. That's what I understand. That we do bury a lot of grudges towards others, and we have to actually claw them out of the heart and forgive them. Forgive them with love and unconditionally, forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Sorry.
Yeah, I guess you've said that. Thank you for sharing, and I resonate with what you're saying, and yes, it's in the line with how it must be. Anybody else would like to share? And your answers are all valid. There is no right answer. We will be looking at Ascended Master's perspective, but if you wish, you can share your perspective, and all are valid. All are learning. Let me put it that way.
It's very easy to say that I forgive them, but somehow the hurt, it doesn't go. And after some time, something happens, and then you go back to that hurt, feeling all that feeling that, okay, I'll show that person, and I don't know how many times I said I forgive that person, but somehow or the other, something happens, and I say, okay, I will show you. So, but we do need, I agree with Nalini ji, we do need to forgive for our own sake, for our own happiness, for our own peace of mind. And we need to practice forgiveness. That's what my feeling is.
Absolutely. I also resonate with you. These things are very, I would say, they're very deep, and we understand them to a degree. And then when we've come across a situation again, when we're confronted with a similar situation or with the person, we again experience the kind of resistance which has come forth. So, and then we come to present. We become present to the fact that whether the exercise that we have done, was it really effective. So I agree with you, and that is why we are here. So I mean, all of us are learning, and so that's absolutely okay. Okay, you can, if you wish to share, please go ahead and speak. That's fine. Or let me do one thing. Let me just say something before we. So Many masters, and I will share with you about some of them. They completed their journey of karma, and they were, on the stage of getting their ascension, and that is a very upward journey. Okay, right now where I see this is it's a very big effort. We cannot do it alone. We need a lot of support from ascended masters from up above. Okay, all the beings who are in the etheric realm. So we really need their help for sure. What I'm saying is that there have been cases when the ascended masters, after completing their completion of their balancing of karmas, were in front of the cosmic council, karmic board, and they were informed that they they have done their forgiveness, but there is one person that they have still yet to forgive, and for that they had to take one more birth, or they had to take 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 steps in the etheric plane so that they can get that forgiveness. And when we are on the etheric plane, this might be new to you. It was new to me. It is much more difficult to complete the balancing of karmas, because in the physical realm we can actually go and I can speak to Manjuji and call Manjuji and say, this is where I am, okay, and I am asking for forgiveness and I'm ready to repay, okay, I'm ready to repent. And I'm so I will do that, and I will do certain other things, like I will do some seva. If maybe I have done something in terms of hurting poor people, I will start to support. Or if I have hurt you, Manjuji, I'm just giving an example, in a certain way where I made you feel bad or something. Asking forgiveness is one, and then I'll start helping people who have been hurt already. They have been made to feel bad, or they have been made to feel shame, maybe going to certain such schools. I'm just trying to say, doing seva is an option, doing violet flame decrees is an option, talking to people and supporting them is an option. But in the etheric plane, these options are not available. The only option is to do violet flame decrees, and that's a reality, that's a fact. So with that, let me say, okay, but does anybody want to share about what is forgiveness? If you wish to share, I mean, go ahead. Okay, then let me continue. Let me quickly welcome Mabel, Sister Mabel, and Sister Marianne. So welcome to the session. It's great that you could also join. Thank you. I know that you're back to back managing other things, and it's quite early in UK. So great, thank you. And I request you to switch on your cameras if it's possible. That will really assist to make the session more interactive. And it's a choice if you wish to, only then. Yeah. So what is forgiveness? Sorry.
I just want to say, why do we need to forgive? What is the reason? From my understanding, so that we are usually the people who hurt us, we need to forgive them more. And as said earlier, to not to carry that baggage and cut the bonds here in this life, so that you do not continue further on in your life with the same kind of patterns in our karmic patterns. So we need to forgive, especially for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. Thanks. Thank you for sharing that. And it's in line with the teachings as well. We must do that, because when we do that, we are, in the last session we were talking about karma, and it's a very nice information, very closely linked with forgiveness. Most of them are linked with each other. In fact, they have overlap with each other, because there is something called as enlightened self-interest. So we understand that having certain things in our lives is because we have made that karma some part of our life. Okay, and allowing that to pass is an opportunity. And where would we get that opportunity if we don't do it now? And if we are oblivious of the fact and we are in the mass consciousness where we are sleepwalking, so to speak, with respect to the situation that we face, and then we are in the mode of humanly responses. Humanly responses are tit for tat, or we only work on laws which have been governed by the jurisdiction. So there are certain laws created in the planet, okay, which have their specific parameters, and they are measured according to the specific parameters. For those, there are certain consequences. A person doing X should receive Y as a consequence, but many a time, mostly they are not enough. So we can't balance our karma just by for example, if somebody did something wrong and I punish him back by doing that, it's not enough in the eyes of karmic board. It's not enough. With the same token, it's not enough to do something good which is just good in front of in the eyes of the world, okay, and that is not counted at all, but if it is done with the pure motive. So I encourage you to visit that lecture. I mean, that's very specific about karma. Bottom line is that to understand this deep science, it's a science, okay, we must come with a very pure intention. So be here with the pure heart and pure mind, with the open heart and open mind. If you don't feel that's possible, imagine that we are able to do it, okay, we are attempting to do it. All of us are attempting, none of us are perfect already. So we make a noble effort. All we do is we give our best self forward. That's all we can do, right? I can try my best, right? So that's what I have to do right now. So let me say, so I'm going to be speaking from the Ascended Master's perspective today. All that I will share is from the Ascended Master's perspective. And for Sahana and Marianne, I'll just say 2 lines, maybe a very short para about Ascended Masters. Ascended Masters are sentient beings like you and me, like all of us on the planet. However, they had been on the planet from long period of time, while they understood that the journey of life, what is the purpose of life, and they started to work on the God's will. They started to work as per the will of the God, and they continued on that path, though they were doing their job like all of us do, but they were oriented. Their prime orientation, or the prime motto, was that they do things with the will of God. And once they reach to a state of completing their karma, they completed their 100% karma, then they moved into the etheric plane, and now they are all present in the etheric plane and they are supporting us. So Ascended Masters also have different stages of attainment. So some of them who have attained ascension newly, like Guru Nanak Ji, though he's an unascended master, but then he finished his karma, and then Jesus Christ, and so forth. And there are certain masters. There are thousands of masters, and we know some of them. We know maybe a couple of hundreds, but there are many more, okay. And some of them have completed their ascension long back, like Shiva, Durga, Ganesh Ji, and many more. So we call them deities. So they become like very senior, and then we have started worshiping them. And many of them, they chose to work for the planet Earth, and some of them they chose to work for different other planets. So we are aware of many of them, which we are, and we are not aware of much more. Okay, so that's a brief about Ascended Masters, and they reach out to. So their motive is to help, whether on the planet Earth or any other planet. Their intention is to help people so that they can align back to the will of God. Okay, and the reason we want to align to the will of God is so that we can reach to a stage of our true self, which is our God self. And when we are at that stage, we balance our karmas. We reach further in our journey of doing things which are aligned with the God's will. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of life. And their teachings have been reaching to us. They have been present on the planet from eons. Eons means it is beyond calculation. It's lakhs and lakhs of years, beyond calculation, those much number of years. But they have not been in any of the scripts, like Hindu scripts or Christian scripts or Muslim scripts or Zoroastrian scripts or any of the scripts, because of the obvious reasons, because these teachings have been misused in the past. But from the past around 200 plus years, these teachings have been brought back to us through masters, through messengers. So these messengers are the people who have attained a certain level of mastery in terms of balancing their karmas, and they have really they they have reached to a stage where they have become very so they are very advanced in their stage of balancing of their karmas. They're very close to their essential. So you can say that they have developed mastery in the field of enlightenment, in the field of spirituality. Now those people have been chosen, and these informations have been passed to them through three different modes. And those three different modes of transmission are when they directly come to their bodies and they masters, they speak to to people, or they come into their thought form in various periods of time, and then that information gets accumulated and then it is shared by these messengers. Or there is a state in which they beam that information, which is almost visible like a text in front of their eyes, and they are beaming that information, and the messenger is sharing with the group of people. And that's these three different modes in which it is being done. Okay, I have spoken about this in quite depth in one or two of my earlier sessions, so you can visit them as well. So that's a brief about Ascended Masters. Coming back to our today's topic about forgiveness. So what is forgiveness? So I'm going to be sharing information only from the Ascended Masters perspective, and I'm not using my perspective. I'm going to share things which I have experienced, and I will let you know when I do that. But all I'm saying is right now from the aspects of Ascended Masters. Okay, this information is accurate. At the same time, it's not. I would say this is not the end of the information. This is just a kickstart point. So you can continue to dwell further into learning and exploring more about this on your own. And I will be sharing a document in which I'll be sharing the references of the places from where I have been able to do my research. There are different URLs. Okay, I will be sharing the document, and these URLs will be present in the document. So from Ascended Master's perspective, forgiveness is letting go, to give up a resentment. So this is right now most imperative. Why do I say that? Because right now we are in this fast track mode. The age of Aquarian is the age of ascension. It's the age of basically awareness, awakening. So this is the time when we must acquire the tools which can accelerate our journey towards ascension. And forgiveness is one of the biggest power tool. So that is why. Okay, why do we need to forgive? Okay, well, we need to forgive because people make mistakes and they must amend them. It doesn't matter that whether you have sinned. It matters that you repent and ask for forgiveness. So what do you mean when I say you repent? My logical mind always wants to ask this question, and we always want to ask, why do I have to repent? If I have asked for forgiveness, isn't it enough? Why do I repent? So the reason we repent is because these scars are too deep. This is too deep and much beyond a simple apology. Okay, and in this means a person literally cries, in their heart, and they wish that they could purge the wrong that they have done. And when that happens, it cannot be faked. It has to come from the heart. When people say ki dil se maaf kar do, dil se maaf nahi kiya, and that's what they mean. When the apology is from the heart, then the apology comes and it is given. Yeah. So it doesn't matter that others have sinned against you. It matters that you forgive them. With the same token, as you ask for forgiveness, with the same token, you also are open to forgive. It's not just that they have done something or whether they are asking for forgiveness. You, as a person, also equally must forgive. If you do not forgive yourself, you cannot forgive anybody else. That is also very, very important. A person cannot give what they don't have. I cannot feed a hungry if I am empty stomach, if I don't have anything to feed to them. Yeah. So we must learn to fill our cup. And that in the analogy of that, it means we must learn to forgive our own selves first. Okay, it seems pretty simple, but it's not. From my own example, I remember a recent time, a couple of months ago, where I was trying to meet a deadline, and a person who is a big CEO of a company was committed to fulfill on the promise, but he continuously missed his commitment to fulfill his promise. It made me feel bad. It made me feel bad. I had a resentment against him. I had a resentment against myself. And while I was feeling bad, uh, I did this exercise, and I remember that my my feeling bad was about that. Why am I in a position where a person cannot respond to me, cannot honor his commitment to me? So I must have something wrong in me that the person is not honoring their commitment. And I was in the mode of condemning that time. So I looked at the teachings, and I could relate to this, that this doesn't work. Number one, it doesn't work for anybody. This is not forwarding anything for me or for him. Though I am right in expecting that the person has not acknowledged, the person has not honored their commitment, and this has not given any outcome. Though I'm right in this, right? They have dishonored their commitment, their promise, but it's not working. Let's be straight, it's not working out. Nothing is coming out of it. Neither is the results coming, nor is he happy, nor am I happy. So the first thing that I remembered was the Ascended Master's perspective is to not to condemn anybody. Condemnation is a sin. Ascended Masters have said the biggest condemnation is the biggest enemy on our journey to ascension. That's what they have said. Condemnation of self and others. We mustn't condemn. Ask for forgiveness. Have an open and a very soft heart, pure heart to ask for forgiveness. Admit it's not easy for many people, especially for men. It's not easy, but we must do it anyways. Ask for forgiveness with an open heart. Also, have an open heart to forgive others, right? So now at this point of time, I remember that I had to just say that, Akash, it's okay. Forgive yourself for whatever you're holding on to. It seems very funny right now, but that time it was not funny. Trust me, that I was holding myself, condemning myself for this situation. But I had to literally forgive myself for being like that, and then accept it. It's okay to be like that, and accept the other person, however they are. Bring patience, bring acceptance. Now, that will it solve my problem? Of course, it will not solve my problem. I am not getting a result, but will it provide me an opening? I am not stuck because I am at peace with myself. Because when I'm at peace with myself, I can see clearly. I can be more connected to my higher self. I will have more connection with my soul, with my inner child, with my intuitive powers. And my soul knows the best answers. I could allow that person to be the way he is. Patience is such a beautiful virtue that was so widely present for me. And I could look at 10 other options. So isn't that a beautiful thing? That when we are accepting, when we are forgiving, we become calm, we become at peace, and we see things in a different perspective. Now, there were 10 other options available. To start with, the first option is that I could reach out to more people who are, on the similar, aspect, or in the similar line of business, and work with them and park this person for a conversation on a later date whenever he's ready, and resolve it in acceptable way. Isn't that a good opening? I feel so. It was not more important for me that I need to get a result right now, and I was very acceptable. With that acceptance of my own self, I was able to develop something more, which is more auto. I can create more auto assist mechanisms, where I don't need to get into a conversation every time where this kind of thing happens. So there is a deep learning which I took on. It's still going on right now. I was just trying to share one example from my life. So like that, there are so many other ways which we can move on in life. So I was trying to say, why do we need to forgive is because of that reason, right? Now, also, what does forgiveness do? It helps us to setting aside karma. What do you mean by that? I'll tell you. So forgiveness is not the balancing of karma, but setting aside of karma. I didn't know that actually. Well, when we
Uh,
go for
What's its setting?
what I'm saying is, forgiveness is not balancing of karma, but it is setting aside of karma.
Okay.
So what does it mean? It means it is an opportunity to balance karma through various means. How? What are those means? One of those means is doing wallet film decrees. One of those means is to serve others. Milarepa, he is one of the ascended masters. He was a very big Chinese king. He was a king in China, and I think he was in early 5th or 6th century after death, AD. But you can also Google and check the dates. I'm not very sure about the dates. But Milarepa, one of the ascended masters, who was asked by his, he was a very powerful king at that point of time when he was in his rule. He was asked by his guru to create a big temple. It was like an ashram, a huge temple. And he was given specifications, and his once the temple was ready, the guru said that it's not as per the guidelines and as per the the prescriptions that I have given you, the design that I have given you. So there are some changes. So the guru made him change that. Now it took more than a couple of years to build a temple, and then the modification again took, because he had to break the whole thing. He said you have to rebuild the whole thing. And it's a I'm telling you, which is there in the scripts. These things are present in our history, so you can go back and validate all that. Okay, there are many things which are not, but there are many things which are. Okay, so this is one of them. And then he had to rebuild the temple. It took him a couple of years further, and that again, once the temple was built, the guru asked him to again demolish and rebuild in a different way. So he had to follow this process 7 times, and it took him probably 2 decades. I'm not exactly sure, but it took him a lot of money, lot of resources, his manpower, his money, and wealth, and a lot of time. So he continued to do it because his guru was saying. But once his guru accepted, the 7th time his guru said fine. So after maybe 2 decades, I don't know exactly how much time, but it took him a lot of time. But once his guru accepted, he asked this question, that why did you make me do all that? I did trust you, but then so he said, but you don't understand. In the last incarnations, you have burnt houses of thousands of people. You were very fierce, and there are many masters who are like that, who had different lifetimes in which they were doing different things. so you had done a lot of karma. You built a lot of karma. So you had to balance this karma. And there's no other way you could do it. So I had to make you go through this, and he did it. He raised up to that occasion. He was ready for that. so we don't know what we had been in our last lifetime and what we experience right now. So everything is not like equal. You see people who you feel they're not deserving, but they have so much wealth and relationships and everything. And we say that they're not deserving, they didn't do anything to deserve this, but they have all that. And there you see people who are really deserving, and they're really striving forward, and they're facing so much crisis, and they're facing so much harsh realities. And then we say that the life is not fair. It's not true. Okay, we must understand people face life because of their karmas, and we must rise to that occasion. So we're not talking much about karma, but then the part of karma is huge when it comes to balancing of karma. The aspect of balancing of karma is so hugely linked with forgiveness. I cannot begin to explain you. Okay, so that's one of them. Now we get an opportunity, as I said, by setting aside karma. What we do when we forgive somebody, or when we ask for forgiveness, especially when forgiveness, we set aside the karma. And the way we can balance it is by doing wallet film decrees, by serving others, as I just mentioned, right? So also there is one thing called as grace of God. I don't know if you have ever heard about this term. It's there in the Bible. Hindus also say Guru Kripa. Okay, it's a very famous term, Guru Kripa. But I will just tell you, the grace of God simply means that the masters, they take our karma. Okay. I actually cried if you hear about Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, he reached to the cosmic council, and he said that I wish to take the karma of the entire planet for 2000 years. So he took a lot of burden on his shoulders for the whole of the planet for 2000 years. There was a lot of density. Okay, we may not, most of us, we may not know, but we really, the planet was in a very bad situation. It was in very bad situation in terms of the creation of bad karma. A lot of bad karma had been created. I mean, it's getting created right now too. But Jesus Christ, he reached out to the cosmic council. Is the highest council. It is beyond the karmic council. That's the highest council. Okay, they're the very senior masters, ascended masters, who are taking this role. And so so all ascended masters also work, in their own. They have their own roles. So masters have to go out to the cosmic council whenever they want to reach out to the humanity and they want to do something. Like Saint Germain went to cosmic council so that he can bring forth violet flame to the planet. So Jesus Christ went forth to the cosmic council, and he said that I want to take the burden of the planet Earth till the time I am going to be. He was the master of planet Earth till 2012 for the Piscean age. For that duration, he took the burden of the planet on his shoulders. I cannot tell you. I was so much in. It touched me. It moved me so much, and it still does. That I just cannot stop. My heart really goes out. It really goes out for what Jesus Christ did, and that's what he did without anybody asking him to do it, without anybody ever actually knowing it. I was oblivion to this fact. I never related to Jesus Christ, by the way. I mean, up until almost a year back. So this is what ascended masters do. Now, I am telling you this story because we are talking about grace of God. When we are in the mode of karma balancing and we are in the mode of service, we are genuinely putting ourselves. It's like we are grinding our face on the stone, literally, day to day. God, masters, they see that and they help us. So masters, they take our karma. I didn't know this, but they do. So, but it is not on demand. I cannot say that now you will have to take my karma. It's not on demand. That is why it is called as grace. In Hindi, there is a word which is called as bin mange moti mile. Those of you who understand Hindi, bin mange moti mile, mange mile na bheek. So what it means in Hindi, I'll translate in English. When we keep without asking, you don't have to ask. God gives you jewels. He sees your genuineness. He sees your work. All the moment masters see us, okay, all the time. They are not interfering in our life. But when we ask, this is also asking. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, when we give our heart fully, we ask that please intervene in our lives. Okay, we are not asking that, demanding that you forgive us and you balance our karmas. But I'm just saying that we are in the mode of accepting that, yes, please intervene in our lives and we are doing our best. Please be with us. Okay, that's what I mean. So when we by asking, we don't get. Without asking, we get jewels. When we are in the mode of doing this kind of service and with pure heart, without even asking, the gods, they give us jewels. But when we are just simply asking that please do this for us, we don't even get alms. Okay, we don't even get alms. That's what it means. Without asking, you get jewels, and with even asking, you don't even get alms. That's what it means. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that we condone the act. Okay, we don't need to condone this act simply because it is like this. All it's leading us to understand is that we need to be in the mode of doing service. We need to be in the mode of surrender. That is why it is called as letting go. Yeah. So forgive the soul and not the self. What does it mean? Forgive the soul and not the not self. It means the dweller on the threshold is the one which is not self. So what do you mean by dweller on the threshold? So we say na that the papi se ghrina na karo, paap se karo, something like that. So what its meaning is, I'm just saying some words in Hindi which is common, but what it means is that you need to condone the basically the work which is negative, okay, not the I am presence of that person. This is very deep. Forgive the soul, not the self. Let's say I have done something very bad. Now, Nalini ji understands this teaching. She will forgive my soul. She is in the mode of forgiveness and she is practicing the master's teachings day in and out. She will forgive my soul. But she is not there to forgive the dweller on the threshold, because the act of the dweller is continuing to do it. Maybe I don't realize it. Okay, I'm in the mode of doing things my way or highway. Okay, fire flight mode. I'm in that mode. I'm not understanding and I'm creating karmas right now. But Nalini ji, I did something, and then there was something between me and Nalini ji, and I hurt her. So she is in the practice of Ascended Master teachings, and she forgave my soul. But she is not forgiving the dweller on the threshold. That is the action of me, which is still continued. So her forgiveness to me is parked in my etheric plane. Whenever I understand and I become, kind of aligned with the God teachings, she has already done it. Okay, and we speak. There is nothing for her. If I ask her that, can you forgive me, and she's saying there is nothing there. I'm already aligned with you, right? But the thing where she is not aligned with me is in the stage where I was before I came into the realization of God qualities, before I came into the realization of my surrender of my God self, where I was in the mode of my own ego. Till that time, maybe she and me were not meeting on the same frequency. So that doesn't mean that you cannot forgive. We can forgive. So we must learn this. It's important. You must know that we must forgive the soul. If there is an error, my friends, please forgive the soul. You don't need to condemn the person. Just forgive the soul. And not the not self, not the dweller on the threshold. Now, what does it mean? Tomorrow, me and Nalini ji, and I am being in the state of ego still, and we sit across in a group, in a common group. Now, how does Nalini ji be with me when she has already forgiven, but I am still in my mode of ego? Well, at that moment, there is a teaching in the Ascended Master's teaching. I think it is, I have to check which ray. It is called as diplomacy. Masters have taught us to be diplomatic. Being diplomatic is a middle path. Okay, middle path is when you are not condoning another person, you are not also going along with them, but you're intact with your own I am presence. So maybe at that point of time, you could simply act in a mode of being more quiet, or you could act in a mode of have you seen people who don't take things personally? So I have practiced it, but I have practiced it a little bit. So some people have asked me that close people who I don't acknowledge of doing certain things, so I don't respond. So they have said that, why don't you reply back? Say something. So I don't have anything to say. So and I'm practicing it at that point of time. It's not that I'm judging them. It's not that I am accepting them. I'm not doing any of that. Neither am I accepting them, nor am I judging them. I'm just being in my own intact with my own I am presence. That is being present in the moment. Okay. So I think that is one way to depersonalize. Yes, sister, you wanted to ask something? Yes, you have to unmute. I can't hear you. You have to unmute. I still can't hear you. Please unmute and.
Yes, I was just adding a word, which is to say peaceful detachment.
Yeah,
So
That's
I've
the
called
right word.
it for
Yes,
detachment.
yes, yes. Uh,
That-
you can, detachment is there for sure, but you can use when somebody is, being so close, and you have to learn to depersonalize things, impersonalize it. That's everything is linked with each other, but they are slightly different. So this is one thing which you have to ask Maha Chohan. Okay, reach out to Maha Chohan, Ascended Master Maha Chohan, and I will share some link of his teachings with you. Maha Chohan is a master who helps us to learn to discern, and it's very important we learn to discern, because many a times I am learning on this path, but there are some people who are very sharp. My wife is sharp, and there are some people who are very sharp. So they will understand in an interaction that the person's direction of line of action is basically delusional. Okay, so they will not get entrapped into that discussion. They, from a certain perspective, they will detach themselves, so they will become impersonal. Okay, so they will discern, they will understand it. Okay, if you see people who are in business, their acumen is very sharp to take certain decisions based upon their judgments. So their judgments are still uh, speculative, but they become very sharp in doing it. But that is from a human perspective. I'm talking to you more from the ascended master's perspective, which means that you start discerning things from a very, very deeper. So Guru Nanak ji is one of the gurus of Sikh, okay, a community in India, who was the last Sikh, okay, ninth Guru. So he, while he was sitting with his disciples, was asked to change the direction of his feet by one of the disciple. He said that, Master, please change the direction of your feet because they are pointing to the mosque right now. So Guru Nanak ji could see beyond words. He said, okay, tell me where there is no God, I will put my feet there. Because the person did not understand that Guru Nanak already, he is an ascended master. He's already aligned with God. He's doing God's work. You follow what I'm saying? He said, tell me a place where there is no God, I'll face my feet there. Because God is everywhere. That's what he meant. Jesus Christ, when he was, giving his discourse to the disciples, those chosen ones, I think there are some 14. Okay, so all the chosen ones, he was giving his discourse. He said to Peter that, Peter, you will disown me 3 times before you will accept me. Okay, so, and then that's exactly what happened when Jesus Christ was was being captured by the soldiers, and he was taken for his hearing, basically before crucifixion. And all his disciples, his chelas, were asked, do you know this man? Do you know? So Peter actually said, no, I don't know him, 3 times before the end of the day. And then he realized that I have done it. And the next morning, at the dawn of the next day, he went back and said, Master, I accept that I did that, but I apologize. And he went back to Jesus. He accepted Jesus after he had rejected him 3 times. Jesus could see that. Okay, so there are people who can see that. So ask Maha Chohan to give you the strength of discernment. Also ask, I'll tell you the name of the masters for whichever way. I think it's, I'll let you know, to give you the quality of diplomacy, because it's very, very powerful, right? So let me go further. I was just getting more inside that point. So what will happen if we don't forgive? So our energies are vested in another in a negative way. So what we do is we bind our nature of non-forgiveness, and it gets binded to our electronic belt. Okay, we cannot be free without forgiving everyone, no exception. Is it easy? No. If you I'm laughing because this life is funny. We feel we are in control. Such a big myth. All of us. I mean, we are in such a big myth. Uh, Imagine, it's difficult, but imagine once we die. Okay, when we die, we are back to our I am presence. We go back to the state of our highest self. We go back to the state of our God presence. But at that point of time, our soul is free. Okay, we are in the Atma state. And that time, our soul has no, absolutely no condemnation, absolutely no, complaints with the people we are carrying those complaints, or with the people we are condoning at that point of time, till that time, till the time of death, right? Because we are right. Can you imagine? That's what I was telling you, that the rules that are created on the planet are not enough. They're not enough for our ascension. They're not enough to balance our karmas. Okay? Because we have lived our life with those rules. So till the time we die, we have lived with those rules. But when we die, our soul, because our soul is connected to our I am presence, and our I am presence is our God presence. So for Banita and for Marianne, this might be a new concept, but we are sons and daughters of God, and I mean it literally. Our biggest connection, of course, we are connected every lifetime with different families, and we must honor that. But till the time I didn't know this, my purest connection or my closest connection was, I could identify with only my blood relation. That was the closest connection. But the utmost relationship from where we came is with God. We must know it. And I have spoken about this in depth, but I don't have time. But this one point I have touched upon in every session. We go into a diagram, and today we'll move on first because we have less time. But our biggest connection is with God. So we are sons and daughters of God. Can you imagine that? We must learn that this is our purest connection, and that's who we are. And God cannot hold anybody in condemnation. Okay, whether it is a sinner, whether it is a saint, it doesn't matter. God always forgives them equally. In the eyes of God, nobody is different. There is no saint, there is no sinner. All God knows is that, are you coming with a pure heart? There are saints who kept a bad heart because they were saints of the world, but they kept a bad heart. They had to go through their karma. And there are sinners who went with a pure heart, and within one lifetime, they got their balancing of karmas. They got their ascension. So we must understand, brothers and sisters, in the eyes of God, these laws of the humanity, laws of the physical pain are not enough. They don't hold good. Yeah. So I was talking to you that our energies is vested in another in a negative way when we don't forgive others, and that binds us in the state of non-forgiveness, and we must forgive them for that reason. And that is why this will happen. If we don't forgive, we cannot be free without forgiving everyone without exception. It will deplete our spirit, and it will drain our vital energy. People get sick, and people who are in the state of forgiveness, they don't get sick. The first thing that one can do to heal themselves is to start to forgive. I promise you, if you do it as an experiment, maybe do it as an experiment, specifically if you have an ailment, or if you have a bad relationship or anything about money or anything, start forgiving. Start saying, I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Start saying this Ho'oponopo prayer. So just do it, see how it works, but do it with pure heart. You really must mean when you say sorry, because what you are saying sorry is, you're saying sorry to the energy. Our I am presence is not holding anybody guilty. When we die, they will forgive everybody like this. So whatever we are holding right now, the worst of the worst, somebody has done really bad things, and I'm telling you, real bad things, you must not forgive. The words of human brain are like that, are also pardonable. We must forgive them also, because our I am presence will do it anyways. So is it wise to live a different life? This day can be the first day of your life where you can start to say, I forgive everybody by default. It's like a running flow of water. The source of Ganga river is Gangotri. That source is basically flowing. If we can start from the source of the forgiveness within our hearts, that before anybody does anything, I am already in the state of forgiveness for myself, for everybody. Right? So this puts a stain, not forgiving puts a strain on the mind and the body and can lead to distress and diseases. It can lead to hardness of the heart. It will stop our spiritual progress. We will become more somebody of a title. We will become more somebody who, people like to have titles, that this is guru, that is guru. I've done so much in society, so I've become somebody who is at a title where I have done so much. Now people should look up to me like that. But there is no spiritual progress, true progress. No matter how bad the deeds are, okay, we can call upon the law of forgiveness, and I will do that with you today, brothers and sisters. We will together do one forgiveness prayer. Okay, we must call mighty Astrea. In Hindu mythology, it is called as Kali Ma. Okay, they both are same. We must call upon mighty Astrea or Kali Ma to liberate the soul from the negative records and momentum that have caused it to sin. So there is a prayer. If you go to the decree book, all of you have access to the decree book because you are part of the ancient wisdom group. In that, the decree number is 20.09. Please make a note of it. Try to do this every day. Please try to do this decree every day. Okay? I do it every day. So this is one decree you should do, because this is a decree in which mighty Astrea, Kali Ma, she comes herself. She's a very, very fierce master. Her love is so fierce that people get scared. Who will get scared is the dweller, not you, but the dweller will get scared. But she is very fierce because she uses her sword to cut us loose from the negative dweller that is there in us, all of us. Okay, it cuts all the records and the momentums of the dweller. Do this every day. Ask the soul to be cut free by the angels, okay, to be taken to the retreats of the ascended masters, to be tutored, because they will teach you how you can learn to get free from these negative energies, because these dwellers on the thresholds are the ones, if I ask you today to tell some good things about yourself, strong qualities, and then I ask you to tell some bad qualities, you will spend more time telling bad qualities. You know why? Because our dweller doesn't let us feel the goodness in us. It's true. It's true for me. I'm not trying to say you, to make you feel in the spotlight, but that's the human consciousness. That is the Lagarde consciousness. That's the 98% of the mass consciousness, my friends. That's the reality where we live. Understand that. So it's very, very important to do this decree. And we need ascended masters tutoring. That is why I am saying you have to ask for the soul to be cut free by the angels and to be taken to the retreats of the ascended masters to be tutored. Okay, and you should pray for the soul to be converted by the Holy Spirit and give the violet flame decrees. We will do a violet flame decree today. Why do we do it? Because this helps us to heal. The wholeness and the healing has to do with the flow of energy, my friends. It is very, very important. Now, many healers and authors say that all healing begins with forgiveness, because that's the starting point. Can you tell me, can you build can there be a tree without the soil? This is the soil. This is the starting point. Our soul has to be free to do anything good. How can you start to do good without a pure heart? How can the heart be pure without with resentment and with condemnation? So this is the starting point. And all of us know, I am not trying to say something new. We know it. But are we? So we have to deep dive into it. Okay. Today, what we are doing is we're doing a little advanced level of learning in forgiveness. That's all we are doing. We all know about it. So ascended masters, they also agree, and I'm quoting these words: healing begins with a prayer for forgiveness. Can we all balance all our karmas, so much of them, we need intervention of masters. So we must do this. The decrees help us to forgive ourselves, to others, to our previous karmas that we have created, to so many. Our, do you know, we carry karma of our ancestral lineage. It helps us to balance the karma of them also, because our karmas are attached to us from our lineage. By doing this forgiveness, it helps to heal the whole of the karma lineage of, the karma of the whole of the lineage. So this is so helpful that we ask this to ascended masters, because they can intervene and help us. That's what I mean. Yeah. So why don't people heal? Okay, why don't people heal, and how they can heal? Yeah, you don't move forward until you forgive is something which we must know. We actually get stuck, because it is called as a cyclic motion. We might take many rebirths, but until we forgive, we will continue to face the same challenges. It is a cyclic. There is something called a cosmic clock. It doesn't matter you are born in whichever generation, whether it is a generation of the highest technology, or whether it is a generation of the starting era of the human being, where we did not have much evolution or any technical advancement. Doesn't matter. We will still experience the same problems. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Technologies or advancements don't matter. Yeah. So when you forgive, everything else opens up. Remember. Now I just shared with you very smallest of the example that I went through recently. I told you, right? But did it open up something new? It opened up so much new things. Don't you think, if I am in a state of acceptance, that it will help me every day? Because if I am condemning something about about somebody, that they did not do something, and I'm condemning myself, would that not interfere in my progress? It will, right? Actually, if I'm condemning myself because somebody did not honor their words, I will do that in every aspect of life. There are thousands of things happening every single day. People didn't come on time in the house to clean the house. Okay, somebody didn't say X thing. My son did Y thing. He said wrong thing. So and so forth. That self-condemnation will actually embed, and it will become a a layer on which I operate. So if I forgive and I accept myself, will it open up many things? Wouldn't it open up many things? Wouldn't I have access to multiple ways of doing things? So we must understand that. So every time we learn about forgiveness, it adds a new dimension to us. But we must be on this journey. That's what I'm trying to say. So forgiveness is everlasting. It has to continue. Every time we learn to forgive, something new will open up. If people really understand the forgiveness, they wouldn't resist forgiveness, because we resist forgiveness. I wanted to say this. We resist forgiveness. Okay. So to learn, we need experiences, and people help provide those experiences. So because we only learn through experiences, right? So it's okay to get into the experience. We have to become little more thick. We have to become little more resilient. We can't be in the state of saying no, I will not get into this new experience. We have to be open to new experiences. I'm not trying to say that we, as I was telling you earlier, that we have to put up with bad things. No, but there are ways and means to browse through them, and you have to learn this. We are born on this planet. We have to be practical. We have to learn to be practical, my friends. We cannot say that I will not face reality. We have to learn to face reality. And why we are doing this Ascended Master teachings, and we have done the 7 races, because we are learning how to be in God ways, in reality, in the world. Okay, and be practical. We'll come to that. That needs a little more depth and practice. Yeah. So spiritual tools which have been given to us are so many. If you ask, violet flame decrease is one. Doing these rituals. Okay, there are so many forgiveness rituals. So I will share with you links. There are certain times we have this something called as the soul retrieval. So from ages, our soul has been betrayed, especially by people who are close to us. So our soul has become very afraid. All of us, our souls are afraid. Okay, it's become like a small child. It's afraid, and our fragments of soul have gone with people who we trusted. To begin with, we must not have given our soul. Okay, but we have given it. We never knew about this teaching earlier, but God says, Ascended Master says that we should not give our soul to anybody, because it is not ours to give to begin with, because that is so much connected with our God presence. So when we trust somebody, we mustn't reach to a stage where we get hurt to a degree where our soul gets hurt. So that is where we have to become stronger. So there are rituals in which we have soul retrievals. I will share with you when we have them. But by doing certain decrees, we can bring back the soul fragments in our life. So there is a decree which helps us to do that, and its number is 0.03. Okay, it is called as, this is the decree. Okay, and it is there in the book. That is why I've given you the number of this. Please try to do this decree. This is called as Mighty Cosmos Secret Rays. Jnani Buddhas are very powerful, and these decrees are basically inviting the Jnani Buddhas. And the preamble of this decree is a ruby ray decree, which helps to amplify the decrees that we do by more than 1,000 times. So ruby ray invocation is a very, very powerful invocation, which is there in the beginning of this decree. So you must do this decree as much as possible. I will recommend do it daily. But it's
Can you repeat the decree? Which number?
It is 0.03, Manjuji. I have also put it in the chat. What I will do is I will, since this session is also recorded, but I will share that in the group for everybody's benefit. Yeah, all these name of the decrees which we have discussed. So this is one, and then you can do rituals of you please do them daily. Okay, don't do it once and then leave it. See, doing it once is like, you can, like brushing the teeth, so you get benefit for some time, maybe for a day or some few days. But doing it daily, it will make you feel the difference over a period of time, how it is benefiting you. It's benefiting if you do once, but you can really see a big drastical change if you do it daily. That's my suggestion. Do it as often as you can. You know what Jesus said? Jesus said that you should forgive. To forgive 70 times 7. 70 times 7, Jesus said. It is there in the Bible. To forgive 70 times 7. What he's trying to say, you know what Jesus is trying to say is that you cannot imagine how much is there to forgive. Unimaginable. When you finish your own family lineage, you will see the lineage. After finishing that, there is a mass consciousness of, let's say I'm in India, of India. There is a karma of India. Then after that, you can approach to the next level. What about the world karma? People are doing, there are so many people. Sister Mabel is part of that group where Sister Ladin is doing it. They are doing balancing of karma for the planet. So they do healing, they do forgiveness for the planet. So there are stages. Jesus Christ did that. He did for the whole planet. He took the karma for the whole planet. I mean, I'm just sharing with you to give you a perspective. My point is that there is no end to forgiveness. We must make this as a habit. You know, there was a question by somebody. Ascended Master said that 70 times 7, Jesus said that there is no end to forgiveness. If you have to do forgiveness, you have to continue to do it thousands of times. That's a very powerful mantra. If somebody can do it, please use that. I forgive you. There's a word. Please forgive me. You can use Ho'oponopo prayer. If you're not familiar with Ho'oponopo, you can just Google and check it. It's there in the website. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Yes, Nalini ji.
Point. When you said you have to by default something, what did you say? I forgive everybody by default, right? Is
Yes.
that one thing not, permanent? Default is like permanent until you change it, right? So
Maybe you can say
sorry, you
fake
can't
it.
see me, can you? My fingers are there. Is that not enough? You have to still go deeper and deeper, like a simple person like me, simpleton person, would not have all these degrees and all that. So how will they be assisted to ascend? That's what my question is. If they don't know anything about this, if they're not listening to this, they have no hope.
It's not never like that, because see, masters don't listen to only these words. When people go, see, uh, I will tell you one thing, okay? The answer is with us. When a person comes with a pure heart, okay, and they are just sitting in front of a temple, just an example, something really bad happened, and they are just sitting in the temple, and they are saying, I am ready to do whatever I can, but I submit myself to you. Please intervene, right? Now, isn't God going to intervene and help them? Of course they will. Because they are surrendering themselves to God. God will help them. And how will they help them? They may not know degrees. It's okay. Did I know degrees? No. Maybe they help them through some other pandit, some other saint, or they find somebody on the road. You know, something called as serendipity, something
Yes.
called as synchronicity. These happen very scientifically, and when they happen, there is no reason. I met a lady who, out of the blue, and she is getting help through us, and she went through very big turmoil. But was it me who found her? Was it she who found us? It happened. Okay. I'm glad that me and my wife are here, and this issue is getting resolved. Such a huge pain in our life. If I could tell, I would have, but I think I must not. But big pain in the physical realm. God forbid if anybody faces that pain, such huge pain. But she was able to get that respite through us, and we are glad that we were able to do it. But it's not about me right now. I'm just sharing something. How did I receive this teaching? I don't know. In fact, it was by fluke. Now, how would that lady get somebody? How would God reach out to her? We don't know. But I promise you this, that ascended masters will reach out to them. They will help them in any and every possible way that is required. It is not limited that this degree will be with them. There is no one way, but they will receive answers. Maybe they finally get to a stage where they learn through somebody else to about fire yoga, and they start doing this violet flame thing through their own means, and they get it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very mystical. I'm sure my answers are not sufficient, though I'm pointing to the direction, but it's not the only thing. There are so many things which I might not be aware, because it's very mystical. So
the reason why I asked was that I always wonder about, like, let's say Kabir, or all the saints who had never been to universities, or I don't know. Some people say he did go to some. He had a guru. How do they that must have been their last life on the earth before they ascended, and they were just simple, like some of them were carpenters, like Jesus, I think, was carpenter, and all these, they were such simple people, where all this, even this knowledge, that we have got at this time on this planet earth, they didn't have this, did they? Where did it come? So it must have come from somewhere. It must have downloaded into their heads, or Jesus didn't. Who was Jesus's guru? I don't know.
Maitreya Buddha.
Yeah,
was
so Maitreya Buddha. So
spent
he
17
had
years.
to travel, I suppose, to India.
He was
to
in
get
India
it.
for 17 years.
Yes. like that. Yeah. So some of the ascended people were not, they didn't have this knowledge. Where did it come from? You see, it must have come from somewhere. I don't know where my question is leading to, is that even people like that ascended, right? Simple people who had no access to any knowledge, Mirabai, or people like that. So are we really getting too much into this? Maybe it's the right time for now this knowledge to come on earth and help us. People like me help us to understand how to forgive, to the next stage of our lives or our soul ascension. Am I understanding correct?
Yes, sisters, I will tell you 1 minute. So we are at 1 o'clock. So I propose that we do the violet flame decree before we, complete the session. If all of you agree, then we will proceed with the violet flame decree. Okay. Will you all agree to it? Maybe you can just raise a thumb up in your chat. Okay, all of you agree. Okay. So let me just briefly say one thing to you because of the limitation of time. First thing I want to say is, okay, Banika, yeah. First thing I want to say is that, I do not have an answer to this question. Let me be very honest to you. Okay, because I am myself right now in a stage where I am learning to talk to the masters myself. Okay. But if I were to answer this question from a perspective of like you, like an explorer, okay, somebody who's an initiate, I'm thinking aloud right now. My response will be that let's think together this particular point, that still we have not found how Shirdi Sai Baba, or how Guru Nanak Ji, how Jesus Christ we know, of course, but then how Maha Avatar Babaji, and how Ramana Mahashri, who were ordinary people, how did they get so much of wisdom? Okay, till now. So there are so many books, sister, so many books, there is so much scripture. So we know about few masters. There are so many we don't even know, correct? So we know about Hilarion, we know about so many, Afra. But I'm just saying that we don't know. We know about them, but we don't know. We know about their deeds. We don't know how did they get this information. So I am here to say that isn't it an intervention of the divine, where they started receiving so much of download, right? And I am also want to tell you this thing, that see, we are getting a structure right now. Our human brain is asking this question. Who is asking this question is also important. Our dweller is asking this question. That snake is from the depiction of the Bible, from the Babylon study. That snake is our rational mind. Snake is our enemy right now. That is why we are using snake as the depiction. Our rational mind is the snake. It wants to bottle down everything into words. But will we be able to bottle it down to words? Our wisdom? Can we make sense of everything through words, through our rational mind? We can't. Now what I'm trying to say is that now these these teachings that have come to us, were they present with them? Of course they were present to them at that point of time, but was it in the format of this, the way we are doing decrees, or was this structured like we are receiving it? I don't know. The answer is I don't know for sure. In the scripts it's not mentioned. Okay. I just give me a moment, sister. I will open. You will speak. Let me complete this. Then you share. So, but this information that we are receiving now, they received it, and how they received it, I don't know. How it was recommended for them to use, like the format that we are using right now, that I don't know. But was it available to them? Of course, it was available to them, but I don't know how and what, the way they did it. That I don't have no idea. Okay, maybe if I study, a little more, maybe we can get Godfrey, 250 years ago, who is an ascended master now. He received dispensations. Then we have Elizabeth Clare Prophet, who passed away in 2009, who is an ascended master. She received this information and the format and in which she had to practice. So these are the scriptures in which we are aware that they received this information in this format, and they were able to take it forward. These are too deep, sister, right now. What I and you and right now discussing is too surface level, but these teachings are very deep. We if we are really interested, we can go deep dive also. We can go to Summit Lighthouse University and we can take up a course for 6 months or 1 year, and then we will be there is a kind of a exam that we will go through, and we will get some kind of a mastery. They will give us a kind of a a certification or something in which we will have a little better mastery. Okay, so that is an option we can look at. But I'm just trying to say that these information, how they were available to them, and what kind of method that they have used, maybe we don't know for most of them. We know we know for very few of them, but for sure these teachings were there, and they had gone through their own ways of receiving this information. But at the same time, now knowing that they had gone through whatever ways they went through, which we don't know, because let's agree, Mahavatar Babaji is not here right now. Ramakrishna Mahashri is not here. Yogananda ji is not here. They are ascended masters, recent ascended masters. Okay, Jesus Christ is not here. His Bible is here, but we are not interpreting the Bible correctly. But there are so many things we don't even know. So answer to this question may not be readily available, but that is the answer required by our dweller on the threshold to stop us. But do we know sufficient information to continue our path? Yes, we have sufficient information to continue on our path. So I would say that we must make progress. Okay, we must continue to make progress in the direction which we are making. We know is the right direction. I'm just trying to give you from my understanding. I'm not saying that my answers. I'm just sharing my knowledge. That's all. Sister Mabel, you can go ahead, please.
Brother Akash, you have given the answer that I wanted to give. You said it all for me, so thank you. What I will add is that I've studied a little bit religions around the world, and what I do know about Guru Nanak and about Muhammad is that, and like Jesus, they spent much time contemplating and being in nature. And teachings come through listening to a flower or hearing the wind. In the Bible, Moses or whomever was taught by the burning bush. There are so many ways for the masters and the I Am Presence to transmit what is needed to each one of us in the ways that are needed by each one of us. And you said it, but I just wanted to say that because I've read about their lives in different ways, and I've been fortunate to read books.
Yeah, it's so mystical in nature, we are using our words and our limited brains to make sense, and it's easy for our dweller to take power of us right now. Our dweller is not interested to make progress. Let me put this in clear words. This session or these teachings has no relevance to our dweller. Our dweller has no interest in this teaching, so it will take us away every moment of life. But does this mean that the teachings are not complete and we can rationalize it? I don't think we can ever rationalize it. These teachings are very, very mystical, and they are multidimensional. If you ask me, I can answer this for myself. I have faced huge challenge. I have been pulled back not to move further because I am not convinced with many things. But do I still attempt to not stop? Yes, I am going through my own struggle right now, because I attempt every time. No, I will sit through the meditation of Advaita. and whenever I sit through, I make progress. So it's a constant battle, and all of us must make that effort. For some of us, the effort might be less. For some of us, the effort might be more. But that we cannot compare, because our karmas have different for every lifetime. We don't have similar karmas. But can we still progress? That is my point. We all can. Yes. Yes. Banita ji, you wanted to ask something? Okay. So.
No, thank you. I just wanted to ask if we do the violet flames, because I just have to leave after this.
I wanted to do the same actually, but we got so much involved in the question answers, and I must complete that. So that's why. But then I have certain other things to share, which I'm going to be skipping for the moment. Very simple things, basically talking about who are these ascended masters, how do they help us to forgive these karmas, and I wanted to just share about that, and that's basically our connection with I Am Presence. So, and then. So who are those masters who we can reach out, who can help us to forgive? There are certain masters who we can pray, and some hints which have been given by the masters, ascended masters, how we can, work on getting forgiveness. Those things I will be sharing in the document. So please go through the documents. Just remember one thing, that we must forgive liberally. Forgive liberally to everybody, to our family, to our parents, to all of life. Please forgive liberally, and accept forgiveness also freely. Try to maintain a journal if you can't do it without that, where you write down about this. Each time you come across master, put a maybe a master's picture in front of you, and then ask him for help. Or in your mind, just imagine the master and ask for help, especially the masters whose names I'm telling you: Mother Mary, El Moria, Archangel Zadkiel, Gautama Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, Saint Germain, Lanello. They have really accepted, because they are the masters of seventh ray. They have really accepted to work on forgiveness. And one of the masters for forgiveness is Kuan Yin, and she's very fierce. So she's so fierce that you'll feel overwhelmed, because the level of forgiveness and mercy that Kuan Yin teaches in her retreat is overwhelming. Okay, and when I say overwhelming, is because we have, at a human level, we are not ready. Our psychologies are not ready to be at that level. But she is very fierce in giving forgiveness and mercy, so we can learn from her. Yeah, I will, sister, I will write them in the group. Okay. Let's do one thing. If you allow me, let's do two decrees. We will not take more than 5 minutes. One is the decree of law of forgiveness, and the other is decree of Mother Kuan Yin. And that is in Chinese, but we have the English translation of that also. But it will not take more than 5 minutes. If you agree, please raise a thumbs up. So we'll begin. Shall we? Okay. Okay, let's do it. All of us. So I'm sharing my screen. We are doing the decree of law of forgiveness. Okay, and I'll also play. Let's do it in the sound of Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Let's do it in her sound. .16. So let me know if you hear the sound. Okay, 1 second. Hold on. Okay, let me do one thing. I will speak, okay, and you all can join me in the prayer, but I will not play any sound because it's very fast. Okay, I'll just share the screen. So let me know when you see the screen. Can you see the screen, please? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be reading from this, okay, and we'll do it 3 times very quickly. Okay, let's start. All of you, please join me, and we are repeating this decrees 3 times. Yeah. We'll do the invocation first, and you can also speak loudly along with me. In the name of the beloved, mighty, victorious presence of God, I am in me, my very own beloved, holy Christ self. You can choose the name of other masters also. Beloved Lenelo, the entire spirit of the great white Badrud and the world, mother elemental life, fire, air, water, and earth, I decree. Violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free. I am surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I am abounding in pure love for God's great name. I am complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am God's radiant flame of love gently falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us, blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us, saturate us, saturate us, saturate us. Violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free. I am surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I am abounding in pure love for God's great name. I am complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am God's radiant flame of love gently falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us, blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us, saturate us, saturate us, saturate us. Violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire enfold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire hold us, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free, violet fire set us free. I am surrounded by a pillar of violet flame. I am abounding in pure love for God's great name. I am complete by the pattern of perfection so fair. I am God's radiant flame of love gently falling through the air. Fall on us, fall on us, fall on us, blaze through us, blaze through us, blaze through us, saturate us, saturate us, saturate us. I'm going to be playing a sound, and that is basically this is the decree of Mother Kuan Yin. So we'll just do the first one. Okay. Let me know if you hear the sound. Just 1 second.
While in my presence here fair and shining there, that each heart in splendor fair. Lovely one of the sun, re-establish thine own. Lotus flower, hear this hour, in each heart unfold thy power. Live to God, spread abroad the magnificence of God. Wisdom flow, beauty grow, as the radiance aglow.
I'm just, in the interest of time, there is a prayer, very quick prayer. I'll just play that one. And I'll also share the screen on that one. I think
I desire.
can you see this screen where it is written 10 vows of Kuan Yin, and then it is written, I desire, I vow to quickly know the entire dharma. Namo
Yes.
Ape.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
okay. So these words which are written in the bold are the ones which we have to, is the pronunciation in English. And the one on the, which are unbold, okay, those small ones, this is the Chinese word. Exactly the Chinese words. But how we can pronounce are written in the bold. So we are playing the first chant from Kuan Yin. I will share this whole thing with you along with the link where you can listen to these mantras. Okay, but let's do the first mantra. We'll repeat it 3 times. I'll just, I'm playing it. Okay.
I desire, I vow, to quickly know the entire Dharma.
Namo
I hope you could be present to this. It's a very powerful mantra. I'll be sharing this with you all. You can listen to it later as well. So let us all do a closing prayer. Okay, I'll share my screen again. And
Light of the eternal spheres, Elohim of God, beloved Hercules and Amazonia with us, seal us in the Emmanuel, seal us in the light of Sanat Kumara, seal now the emergent grail of each one, seal the flaming potential of the soul, the heart and the mind, and the physical foundation thereof, the mental, the etheric, and the feeling world. Seal these hearts with living fire. Seal them now as we sing to the Ancient of Days, Sanat Kumara. Fill our grail, fill us now, Sanat Kumara, and let us be a living replica of the chalice of Elohim and of the Ancient of Days. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and the Mother, we accept it on this hour in full power.
thank you so much for sticking around, though we extended by half an hour today. And I apologize for that extension. We'll try to wind up within 1.5 hours. But it was a nice session. So thank you for all of you who could pull yourself through up till then. So with that, if you have any questions, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sister
I'll
Ma'am.
take your leave now, Akash.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I
It
have
was
a
very
question.
enlightening.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I have a question, Akash, if you don't mind,
Yes,
please.
yes, yes, tell me, please.
Hello, Akash.
Yes, yes, sister. Tell me,
Oh,
please.
yes. Thank you so much. Okay, I will share. Okay, I will share this because I feel called to. Thank you for creating this session because I got a healing of grace where I forgave because I've held a lot of resentment with the white race for what they've done to African people. And I've been asking for this all my life and asking questions, and I received the forgiveness of the white race. So I am freer today. And if it wasn't for you doing what you did today, I would not have received this. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
sister.
much.
It is God's will. It's not
Yes.
our will. So
I am so graced because it was not me that did it. It just came through. So thank you. I wanted to share that. Thank you for your dedication, your seva, for everything you have done to create this moment for me.
Thank you.
And I have another question.
Please go ahead.
Yes, because of what you said about, I've forgotten what it is, but I'll say this. I was late because there was a friend that I talked to. Okay, soul retrieval, that's it. My friend, when we were talking this morning, talked about what had happened to her and her grandson. Her partner shouted at her grandson, and she protected the son. She protected that child, and she's decided to end the relationship. But that child, who is 7 years old, has had a soul fragment in that moment, I think, hurt. Can I do the soul retrieval by using the decree that you talked about earlier for retrieving the soul? Can I say it on behalf of that child? to help with the soul retrieval? That's my question.
So these decrees work for other people also. We can do it, but for this specific purpose of retrieving the soul, I am not sure. How old is the child?
7 years old. There was a
Okay.
reason why I talked to my friend this morning at 5:30, and I could not join you at till 6:30. So I think there's a reason for me having that conversation, then joining this discussion about forgiveness, and for you talking about it. I think there's a reason for that.
So one thing is, sister, that until 14 years age, the karma doesn't kick in.
Right.
The child will not experience any of the impact for whatever is things have happened earlier or which are happening in this lifetime. I'm talking about this lifetime. But of course, there would have been an impact which would have tempered his soul. And I will get back to you about the aspect of you doing his soul retrieval. What I am aware is that this exercise must be done by the person himself. But whether it can be done at this age, at his age right now, is one thing, and the other thing is about whether other person like you can do it for him. For these two questions, I will need your time from you to get back, because I will have to also research and get back to you. I don't want to give you an answer which I am not very confident right now.
That's okay, I accept that, and that's fine. And I've just remembered about, I do not know that child's karma. I do not know about that person who did it, his karma. And I do not know about the karma of my friend who witnessed it. She's a very spiritual person, the teacher, so she will understand, but that's true. So I will step back from my impulse. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we must do that. And receiving of the healing is also based upon individual soul. Sometimes some souls are not ready to receive. That's a different topic. But of course, we should do it for others as much as possible. In this case, I will have to get back.
That's lovely.
It's a very different, topic. So it's not a general topic of karma or of other healings. So about this one, I will have to,
that's fine. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful morning. And thank you so much for being the channel of grace.
Weekend ahead. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.